Greetings, people of Earth. Welcome back. My name is Jax. I've tried making this video a few times in the past and a few times even today, but essentially today we're talking about sociopaths. And I know the term gets used in television and movies all the time, and they're sort of like, ooh, sociopath, like the boogeyman, these people that don't care about anything else but themselves, and they don't have an ability to have empathy or see things from other people's perspectives. Um, However, unfortunately, I have had very, very personal experience with sociopaths throughout my life, and I wanted to give some advice to the general population and maybe to a sociopath that's interested, because I know sociopaths tend to watch videos about sociopaths because they're interested in themselves. So I wanted to give some advice all around. For just a bit of context, like I do know what I'm talking about when it comes to these antisocial personality disorders. I have read up on them. I did some studying in university on them, and I have personal experience with clinically diagnosed sociopaths. So that's the biggest thing, is I have experience with these people. I'm not just talking about the crazy people you see on television shows and stuff. Like, these people are real. They are a lot more common than you would be led to believe. Um, the inability to have empathy for other people or to see things from their perspective is quite a common thing, unfortunately. Thankfully, it's not the norm, it's not the majority, but they say 1 in 100 people have psychopathy or sociopathic tendencies. It is a spectrum, like sexuality, like all of these things. It is a spectrum where individuals can fall on a scale of like 1 to 10 on how sociopathic they are in their behavior. Um, Despite what a lot of people say, I think a lot of sociopaths know that they are sociopaths, know that there is something in them that is different. I think typically they view it as some kind of superiority thing. They think like, well, I'm just better than other people because I don't have that weakness of empathy. And I think that's one of their like downfalls and one of their shortcomings, but they have many. Um, this is a topic that is like very difficult for me to talk about in this sort of open way that I try and monologue on these videos, because it is something that I have personal experience with quite a lot. But I do think it's an important thing to watch. And if you are a sociopath watching this, first of all, don't come for me. And second of all, you can live a beautiful, meaningful life. Just don't step on people. Like it's actually not difficult. Many sociopaths in life live very productive, meaningful lives, but they do have a tendency to step on people and do whatever it takes to get what they want, which obviously isn't great in our society. I think there's a reason a lot of CEOs and very high-powered people rank very high on the spectrum of antisocial personality disorder. It is a disorder, so you know. My first piece of advice for anyone who suspects that they might have encountered a sociopath is to remove themselves from the situation. If you have an ability to run from these people or to get away from them or get out of their way, I suggest doing so. Many of us cannot, because these people happen to be family members, or logistically you just can't run away or move country, or it's expensive, it's difficult. But yeah, my first piece of advice, if you can get away from these people and avoid them like the plague, do so. Because like I said, without the ability to have empathy or to see things from other people's perspectives, it becomes very easy for a sociopath to essentially run over anyone, metaphorically or literally, in order to get what they want. There really isn't any boundary other than the fear of getting caught. Like that's one of the only things that sociopaths have, where that might stop them from doing something kind of insane or backstabbing or manipulative. If they're not worried about getting caught or having some kind of repercussion, they will do it. You know, if they think that they can get over you to get somewhere quicker and they won't get in trouble, they will do it. Like it's just like common sense to them. Like they have this aggrandized sense of self-worth, and they think that, you know, they really are God's gift to the planet. Like I said before, a lot of sociopaths, believe it or not, know that there's something different about them. They might not have keyed in on it that it's sociopathy, but nevertheless, they think that there is something that makes them just externally much more important than other people. And in some incredible cases, under under police interrogation, they don't even believe other people are real. You know, they can have an incredible sense of self that puts us all to shame and makes us all go, wow, okay, I thought I was narcissistic. But narcissistic tendencies are a real hallmark of sociopathy, so watch out for that. The second sort of main piece of advice I have with dealing with someone you might think is a sociopath is just to be on high alert. Sociopaths tend to be very charismatic. They tend to have an ability to make you like them, or, you know, they're the popular kid. They figure out this kind of stuff very quickly. And like I said, without that guardrail of empathy or worrying about other people and what they think, sociopaths don't have that guardrail. And so they can play hot and dangerous whenever they want. And it's that kind of like risk taking behavior that can make them super attractive as partners, as friends, as the popular kid, as the quarterback. These are all things that sociopaths kind of revel in. They like this chase. They like this sense of superiority and playing the game and doing it so well and making it so easy. And I think a lot of them love the idea that they are really skilled manipulators because they can be. But they can also have like these dead giveaways that kind of say like, oh yeah, clearly this person doesn't care about anything. You can listen to the way that people talk about the news or their friends and family. And I think as someone who has like grown up along it, I think it's quite easy to spot. It's this kind of like bone chilling sense you get when someone says something that's just a little too cold and heartless, or, you know, the way that they might laugh at their own joke. There's a lot of these like kind of common tells that indicate that someone really doesn't care. They really just don't. And I think that's like the root of sociopathy, is they just don't care about anything other than themselves and their whole sphere of influence. They might have like micro fixations, you know, similar to someone who is on the autism spectrum. And that kind of thing can be kind of like misleading, because then you think like, oh, like maybe they're just fixated on something because they are ASD. But you know, I've always disliked this idea that autistic people have no empathy for other people, because as someone on the spectrum, we absolutely have empathy, and we can, you know, see things from other people's perspectives. Whereas a sociopath doesn't really care. I'm sure if a sociopath was sat down and told to like try and understand something from someone else's perspective, they could do a pretty good job of imitating it, but it wouldn't be a genuine sense of empathy. It wouldn't be a genuine sense of, oh, I understand where this person is coming from. I understand why they did this. Like a sociopath doesn't really do that. And I think the final thing is you really have to be careful of your relationships with sociopaths. Like I said before, 1 in 100 people is probably quite high on the spectrum of antisocial personality disorder. And you are going to encounter these people a lot. You statistically could very well be related to one. And it's just important to keep these ideas in the back of your head. Because like I said, you might have a friend or a family member who rates quite high on this scale, and as much as you might care for them in a meaningful way, it's not really reciprocated. I'll give you one last piece of like personal advice. If you happen to be related to a sociopath, or you suspect that someone you are related to is a sociopath, It is really good just to create a lot of distance and avoid them at all possible. This can include not going to family events, never being alone with these people or this person, and not trying to ingratiate yourself. You don't want to be this person's friend. Don't think for a second that you can somehow manipulate this person into caring about you, or get into this person's good graces. The only thing that might protect you in the case of being related to a sociopath is that they might view you as like an extension of themselves, and they have such a emphasized vision of who they are that they might see you as like their legacy, or an important relative or something. And so they might really celebrate your achievements, and they might really sort of display some kind of pride or gratitude towards you. But it's only in as so far as, you know, being part of the same like bloodline or things like that. Like sociopaths tend to like have a big emphasis on that kind of thing. Your family name, maybe you look a lot like them, maybe there's some kind of connection that they really emphasize towards you, and themselves. And that is not genuine love. That is like some creepy obsession. That is some creepy connection. This person doesn't love you. You might be safe with them. They might try and protect you in situations that, you know, are less than safe. But it is not out of love. It is out of ego and a protection of the bloodline or the family or whatever. These people do not have the capacity for like a genuine sense of love for another person. And I know that sounds harsh because these people, a lot of these people are born this way and there's nothing they can do about it, but it's just a simple fact. Like for whatever reason, this particular personality thing evolved in the human society in order to be the warrior or the protector at nighttime, or to be able to get whatever they want no matter what. And that genetic thing has just survived in the human genome. You know, it's survived through the traumatic events that cause a lot more of these disorderous traits to become apparent. It's something that we all have to deal with. Many of the world leaders and CEOs and powerful people all rank very high on these spectrum lists, because in our world where, you know, you have to run over people to get what you want, that kind of personality trait benefits, and it does really well. And that ability to manipulate and to twist what you think and say is really powerful. And unfortunately, a lot of us are very gullible, and it can take us a long time to realize, oh man, this has been happening my whole life. So I caution you to be careful. I'm not trying to freak anyone out. Hopefully you don't have to encounter these people. If you've had suspicions about someone your whole life, probably trust that. Probably just go with it. It's probably true. Yeah. Thank you for listening. Sorry for the weird one today, but I've wanted to make this video for a long time. Yeah. Let me know your experiences, your comments, your thoughts about sociopathy, psychopathy. I know sometimes they're interchangeable, sometimes they're not. Depending on where you live, you might be calling them psychopaths or sociopaths, or antisocial personality disorder individuals. There's a lot of terminology, so I apologize if I said something that is not currently medically correct or psychiatrically correct. This is off of my own research and my personal experience. So thank you for listening. I hope you have a beautiful day, month, week, year, whatever you're having. I hope it's amazing. Stay away from the crazies, and I will see you guys in the next video.